Hey everyone, welcome to our live stream meditation class tonight. My name's Dr. Asatar Bear, and I'm here with my co-teacher, Leah Schaefer.
Welcome, everyone.
The theme of this week is replenishing from within. And we're talking about it before the show, and there's just this sense that our culture and maybe our society in particular in the West, United States or whatever, really focuses our attention on the external, um, and especially the holidays, right? The holidays are all about getting everything perfect externally, right? But it's like what we're looking for is often that internal feeling. And so it's like
Mm,
the meta message is look outside for the feeling inside. And, you know, that's very problematic.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, not to get us wrong, we're not like Grinches, whatever you celebrate during the holiday season. Like I love the lights, I love the decorations. I think it's super fun. But it and I love giving people gifts and like wrapping them very beautifully.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so much fun for me, but yeah, it's like it very much feels like if you don't we were talking about like if you don't have all the boxes checked, whatever those boxes might be for you personally, whatever you think of as like the way in which that you feel like you can have conversation with relatives or friends that you maybe haven't seen all year,
Yeah.
and be able to have those, those things like, oh, how were you, how was this year, what's going on with your life, right? And sometimes maybe it's not a good year. Like you didn't have those boxes checked this year, or the last several years or however long it's been going on.
Right. And it's not to say that those boxes aren't important. It's just that it's so easy to feel judged. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
how's the job situation and what
Right.
what about your personal relationships? So what
Yeah.
about love relationships, right? I mean, it's very easy to feel like if you don't have that all together, like, well, what are you do? This is the moment where we sum it all up and you see people that you haven't seen in a while and
Yeah.
you don't want to disappoint anyone. Um, you want to feel good about yourself, right? You want to be projected.
Yeah,
Uh,
you wanna feel like you're healthy in society and
yeah,
like yeah, and but what are the metrics that we're, like, measuring ourselves by with that, It's important to kinda to look at, like, it's one thing to have an ideal, and it's a totally another thing to put a theory into practice, right? And so our ideals, we can break them on the rock of truth, like, that's something where it doesn't always match reality, and it's sometimes totally unattainable, like, within one lifetime, certain levels of ideal. Or things are nothing like what we thought that they would be, and we have to
right.
change what's going on. And so it's not so much like of not having the ideals for yourself, but it's more about like what's the word I'm looking for? Like loving yourself in a fierce way, like this unconditional, fierce love for yourself and having your own sense of balance and self come from within and being able to stand in yourself like with whatever's going on in your life right now and like Asatar was saying, like really connect with people this season because that's what it's really all about. It's really about person to person connection
Yeah.
and like finding that real true warmth with true connection with each other. So, and you can't do that if you're like guarded, like, oh God, my life. So,
So my story, right? I was married for a long time, and did two kids, and I'm going through a divorce right now, and so I'm somebody who always approached the holidays as like, oh, like I have these certain boxes ticked, right? Like,
Mhm.
I mean, society tells you should be married, right? So like okay, I arrive with those ticked, but then it's like, yes, but what is this thing? Like, is there happiness? Is there fulfillment? Is there,
Yeah.
like, start investigating the inner if something is ticked, it's not like it's the end of the story at all, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's
No.
kind of the beginning. And as I'm like navigating a divorce this year, I find myself approaching the holidays and being like, oh my god, all of these things are just blown out of the water, right? Because I'm in a lot of pain. Like I'm not like thinking about are the boxes ticked. I'm like, let me just try to hold all this together, and like a lot of times you come into a family in our holiday
I
situation
know.
and you're like, oh my god, I feel smothered. You're trapping me in a past version of myself that's not true to me. Or
Yeah.
because it's like family, old friends, they do this, right? They remember you, or they project onto you maybe how you used to be, right? Or how they wish you
Mhm.
were, or and it can feel very stifling. And I'm like not relating to that as being stifling right now. I'm like, no, that's comforting. That's that's like is holding it together. So this is just where I'm at. I'm not saying, this is, and believe me, it's
Mm.
got a lot of downsides. So don't, nobody tries. Um,
Yeah, but it comes back to honoring ourselves where we are, and
yeah.
the reality of what's going on, and knowing, I think knowing that, like, it's this fierce loving of ourselves, so that we can be open to connection with these people, that who knows how many more times that we get to see these people again,
Mm,
like,
yeah.
you don't know, and I try to think about that a lot, like, this day will never repeat itself, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you life is just very, very unpredictable, and so it's not about, we get so caught up in, like, is my life on the weird linear path that our society has drawn a map for us,
Yeah.
or isn't it? And it's really just not about that.
Mm,
Yeah, and I think that that's what we're gonna practice on tonight, is like, how do you, first of all, like, how do you feel strong in yourself, but then also strong enough in yourself just to be like, this is the reality of where I am, and I love myself anyway. And then also, like, how do I actually connect with these people in front of me? Because it's not, you don't always have the same values, you don't always have the same views, you don't always have, like,
yeah.
it doesn't matter if you're blood related, there's a lot of differences, and that's okay, like, diversity is good, but it's like, how do you actually connect with people when you're not just talking on superficial levels?
Yeah.
Um,
Or even if
yeah.
superficial, it's like, what's the energy, right? You know,
Mhm.
and, um, I think that's very beautifully put what you said. And we have to remember, every opportunity, every experience is an opportunity for growth, right? So it's like it's so easy to get annoyed and be like, oh my god, look at the shit we have to put up with, right? Look at what we get put through. um, Everything is an opportunity for growth, right? So but we want to develop that interconnection so that we can replenish ourselves, so that we can,
Mhm.
um, bring the light into our lives and the lives of others. um,
That's beautiful.
so let's work on.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's go ahead and meditate. Yeah, just before we start, I had one family gathering already this year, and it was like relatives I haven't seen, and they mean really well. But I was asked 3 times by 3 different relatives, so do you have a man in your life? And I'm like, no. And so it was just like, oh God, here we go. And so
Internet.
yeah, these questions will come at you, especially the ones you don't necessarily want to have
I
coming at you.
that is feeling right now and cannot believe that you don't have a man in your life currently. So that's the
It's
shock waves are just
it's yeah. So that's for a different theme for a
different.
different night. We'll cover that topic later. But anyway, thank you. So let's go ahead and take your meditation posture. Prepare yourself for the questions that will come at you.
Mhm.
Just kidding. But we all know, like, what we're afraid of happening. There's always something going on with it, with like these holidays, the good and the bad. And so just go ahead and take your seat and move your body however you need to in order to get a nice little stretch before we sit for a meditation. And then if it feels comfortable to you, go ahead, close your eyes. You can also soften your gaze instead. And the first step is always to make your breath full and rhythmic. And so start there. And you really want the breath to be low and slow. So I tell people all the time to breathe deep into their abdomen, deep into their belly, and almost every time they're still breathing into their chest. So I really mean it. I really mean you want to breathe as low into your body as possible. So think of your lowest abdomen and you try to expand from your lowest abdomen, and the breath fills from there. I like to imagine it as if my breath is like a gentle stream of water, and I try to weave that all the way to the very base of my spine, but I'm doing that like in my own torso, and it really brings my consciousness deeper into my body, but it also helps me breathe deeper and deeper. So low and slow. And your body will kind of trick you into thinking, oh yeah, I got it. And then it'll go back to chest breathing. And so keep watching it every breath. Every breath, you're really weaving that breath deeper and deeper, and you're following your breath. So your consciousness is going more and more into your body, lower into your body. And then almost as if that stream of breath could widen like a river widening in its banks. Try to allow your breath to start to widen. So it's still going as deep into the lowest abdomen as possible, but you're starting to broaden the breath now too. So you're getting more volume of breath. But you're not getting more volume in your chest. Again, low into the body, lowest abdomen. And you can eventually fill up all the way to the heart, but that's the last part of the breath, the inhale anyway. So it's almost like your side body, your side ribs are starting to open more as you widen the breath now. You've been focusing a lot on the inhalation, I presume, because that's what I've been talking about. But always remember too the exhalation. So that part of it, we exhale a lot organically, as I always say, and then the end of the exhalation, we hold on to stagnant air in our lungs. And so at the end of your exhalation, squeeze your abdomen in toward your spine and really try to see how much breath you're holding in that you didn't even realize was there. And then again, this new inspiration comes in and you bring it deep into your torso, you bring it deep, low into your body. And if you haven't already, start to make your inhalation and exhalation rhythmic. So there's a few ways of doing that. You can just have a sense of it. Really do your best to attune to harmony within yourself and really get this sense like I'm now making my breath rhythmic, like as if you had a violin and you were allowing the bow to do these long strokes across the note, your favorite note, and just playing your favorite note, going back and forth as you inhale and exhale. And a way to start to sync your heart up with this, and a way to know and ensure that you really are truly breathing rhythmically is to use your heartbeat as your metronome. So your heartbeat becomes the drum. And so even if you don't want to count tonight, counting the heartbeats, while you breathe your full rhythmic breath, try to feel and tune in with your heart. Feel your heartbeat on some level, even if it's the most subtle, energetic level. And just notice how you feel right now. Notice the difference in the quality of how you feel now compared to earlier today. This is the power of rhythmic breathing. It changes everything. It changes the entire blueprint of your nervous system. It moves you from chaos into harmony. Just that quickly and simply. And so this is one of the primary tools that you have. Whatever's thrown at you this holiday season, whatever you're going through, This is how you change vibrationally at any moment, no matter the circumstance. No matter how stressful your day is, it's not that you don't need to pay attention to why you're having stress alerts for yourself, but no matter what is going on, no matter what level of stress it is, your nervous system can only take so much of that adrenaline or cortisone. It can only take so much of that, and it needs this too. It needs this harmonic presence that you're working on developing right now. And so just really know that this is a power that you will always have once you cultivate it, which you're already doing. You can continue to breathe this way, or we're going to add in the water breath. So, what you would do is inhale through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. So, you're still doing full deep rhythmic breathing, but we're just adding in the water breath technique. And so, you inhale through the nose, and then you exhale out of your mouth. Especially tonight with this theme of the night, imagine that your exhalation is as if water on an energetic level is just washing over and through you. And so, water elementally can be representative by omnipotent love, the energy of love without end, without any particular direction, but all directions at once. And so, as you exhale out of your mouth, you can imagine that this energy is washing over and through you. Inhaling, going into your heart, going into your center. Inhaling through your nose. And then exhaling out your mouth. And letting the energy of omnipotent love wash over and through you. It's going through any part of your body, any part of yourself that needs replenishing, that needs that reassurance that you're worthy, that you are loved, and that you belong. And you can go through parts of your heart, you can find tender spots inside of you, and you can go even deeper and deeper. And it's nice to find some place inside of yourself that really needs your presence, really needs that replenishment and nourishment. Really breathe into that space. And only if it's authentic to you. I've personally been having a lot of success with moving the energies all the way down to the root chakras, all the way down to the base of your spine, to your tailbone, legs, feet. And it's this feeling of belonging to your own skin and like belonging to this earth unconditionally. Sharing the universal love that exists ethereally with the most physical parts of your own body, bringing the most ethereal love into the clay, the earth of your own form. It can be very, very helpful to have words that you hold on to throughout this holiday season, something that you need to hear, something that replenishes you. It can be anything, anything that you really need to hear when you look inside. Don't search your mind, search your body, search your heart. And it can be as simple as I love and accept myself. And you can place those words instead of saying them out loud. You can say them out loud, but you can also place them on your breath. So it's as if you're breathing that message, those thoughts, that sentiment into the parts of yourself that really need to receive that message, that reassurance. And then all the people, all the beautiful hearts that you're going to come in contact with over the holiday season, just very gently imagine them in the room with you now and realize that they are hearts just like your own, that they're tender hearts inside, no matter how guarded they might be. And try to imagine that you're connecting with their hearts rather than connecting with whatever is going on with their mind or the past that you've had with them. Just imagine that you're connecting with their hearts only. That the love that you're connecting to now is the same love that they desire within themselves, the same love that their hearts long and thirst for. Just imagine that that's really what you're connecting to. That's really what you're looking for and at. That's what matters. That's the soul food. And then as you're ready, go ahead and move your body and open up your eyes.
Mm, nice meditation. Thank you, Leah.
Thank you. I was really feeling the vibe tonight. Whoever's meditating with us, it was lovely to meditate with you.
Oh, we have a guest watching from Haiti.
Oh wow, it's so good to have you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Well, it really makes me feel that feeling of, how we can get so exhausted. I mean, I'm feeling that way myself, just it was like, oh man, it's the run up to the holidays, right? And as-
Haven't even done anything yet.
yeah, but maybe that's kind of the way of things, right? It's the anticipation that, that's a lot of times where the stress is, not the thing itself. And, I always think about it, I guess, kind of backwards, like not so much like what are all the things that I need to get done, right? I mean, we all have our lists, right? But it's like, what am I hoping for? What am I longing for from this? Uh,
Mhm.
and um, and it's like love, connection, um, a sense of the sacred. I mean, these are things that I'm thinking,
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
and how. Well, actually, when you really think about it, these things are not dependent on anything external, right? They're not dependent on how the meal goes or and what the gifts are or any of this stuff, right? Like
I forgot about like the meal, the stress of the food. Like that's
exactly.
like a whole
That's
thing.
another thing that has to be. Um,
Mm,
there's so much of that, and
yeah.
it's like
Mm,
and like again, it's not about like, oh yes, you should just say fuck it to all of that stuff. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like put the energy, like put some attention into the energy, um,
mm,
and maybe even go into that space where you put that first, like
yeah,
if love and connection is what you seek, wouldn't it be amazing to just like tune into that, right? And like really, really like
yeah,
drink it in, really experience.
yeah,
Hazrat Khan says this amazing thing, right? He says, our hearts are so longing for love that we're never going to be satisfied from love from a single person. We want to be
yeah,
loved from all around, right? Like we want
yeah,
love to shower on, um, and
yeah.
he's not talking about some kind of polyamory thing here. He's talking about, I don't
Which
think,
if you're poly, it's fine. We don't care.
yeah,
Whatever you like is for you.
it's like
So,
that energy all around us, right? And I mean, we could experience it as love when the sun is shining on us. We could experience that kind word or a laugh or a smile, or like all of these things come from the same place, and
yeah,
you know,
yeah. It's really everywhere. Like, but it feels like sometimes it feels like it's not. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, in one single day, I can go through several different iterations of feeling like it's nowhere and then everywhere. So, it's just one of those things.
well, at least you
But
experience that it's everywhere. I mean, that's a that's really
I could just do that all the time. But
yeah,
um, but I really hear you. There's a lot of limitations um, with person to person love. There's a lot of the limitations that we have, like even in our ability to give, like we can't continually give. Like, I mean, yeah, I try to do that and then I'll get burnt out, and it's
yeah,
like it's not good either, so it's one of the I only have so much, right? And so
yeah,
it's like even with the intention of wanting that, it's something you only have so much of. And so there's limits to our friendships, to our relationships, and things like that. But there's no limit to the energy itself. And
yeah,
it's like when you tune into that, the when I think about the people and I think about their hearts, everything changes.
Mm,
It's like I'm tuning to a totally different person because
yeah.
it's no longer this, headspace, um,
Yeah. We have
iteration of them.
another comment here. A piece from Tabernash. All right. Well,
Where is that?
I don't
Thank
know.
you for thank you for
The
um,
Tabernash. This is the miracle of the internet, isn't it? That we wonderful
we're
to be.
so happy that you're here. Please tell us more about where
Yeah.
that's at. I'll Google it after.
So, I just think we have this opportunity, right? And this is part of what the tool of meditation is, to just really help us go within, to learn about our own energy and the energies that surround us and the energies of others, um, and to tune into that, to explore that world, right? The world of energy and spirit, the world of the limitless. Um, and I think that helps. I mean, or I should say
Mhm.
that's my experience, right? My experience is
Yeah,
that helps, because we're always gonna, when we deal with limitation, when we deal with our lists and our stresses and our hopes and our, all this stuff, um, disappointment is inevitable, and that's okay, right? Things are not gonna always live up to your very high hopes and ideals of them. Um,
yeah,
and it's just good to feel and remember that connection is there. Our hearts are still there, right? Still
yeah,
beating, still connected to all life, still with that unlimited, endless, perfect, eternal energy. um, and so I don't know, should we do
yeah.
talk more, or should we meditate now?
Let's meditate.
All right.
It was beautifully said, Asatar. Thank
Thank
you.
you. um, all right, so take your good upright meditation posture, um, and settle into stillness. You may have noticed, as you've been sitting with Leah's wonderful instruction, how your body settles into stillness, and it has an effect on your mind, on your thoughts, and even on your emotions. Your whole being becomes more still, becomes slower, and it gives us the opportunity to experience, to examine ourselves, to experience ourselves in the parts that are often overlooked. So we're going to work with the basics of heart rhythm meditation. This is a meditation method that comes out of Sufism, the Sufism of Hazrat Inayat Khan. And we want to make the breath deep. We want to make the breath slow. We want to make the breath rhythmic, heart-centered, and full. So deep means that as you breathe in, your belly expands. You're breathing into your abdomen. It's abdominal breathing. And as you breathe out, your belly contracts, gets smaller. Breathe in and expand your belly. Breathe out, let your belly contract. And allow your breath to be slow, to take more time on the inhalation, more time on the exhalation. And you can do this by extending your breath. Breathe in more than you're used to breathing in, and breathe out more than you're used to breathing out. Now, to make the breath rhythmic and heart-centered, we have a technique. We listen to the heartbeat and bring it into sync with the breath. So that means the same number of heartbeats as you inhale as when you exhale. So perhaps that means 4 beats in, 4 beats out. Or perhaps that count is too slow for you. Maybe you try something else. Maybe you try 6, maybe you try 8. If you do work on this practice over time, I would like you to get to a place where you do 8 beats in and 8 beats out. This makes your breath much slower, much longer. It slows down the rhythm of your body, your mind, and your emotions. It can be hard for some people to perceive their heartbeat. Some people feel it right away, so it just varies. If you're having trouble feeling it, you just maybe place your fingertips on your breastbone. And this brings your consciousness to your heart. And with just a light touch, you might feel the pulse in your fingertips. And if that doesn't work, you can just imagine it. And over time, if you stay with this practice, you will eventually feel it. Deep, slow, rhythmic, heart-centered breathing. And the last step is to make the breath full. And that means to really squeeze your abdominal muscles, breathe out all of the air. And then breathe in, allow your belly to expand and open the sides of your body. Allow the breath to rise all the way to your collarbones. Taking a very full but very smooth, very controlled breath. Now, one purpose of making the breath rhythmic in this manner, same length inhalation as exhalation. One purpose of this is because we are in balance. Life is rhythm. And part of that rhythm is that we must both give and receive in life. The inhalation signifies that we're receiving. We're receiving breath, we're receiving energy, we're receiving life. And the exhalation is we are giving, we are doing, we are putting out energy. We are radiating, even when we're just sitting here. You're just sitting here, just breathing. But still, you are radiating your energy, your unique energetic signature into the space around you and into the universe as a whole. Breathe in and take in that endless energy. It's so often the case that we become exhausted. We get run down. We give too much. We try to do too much. We don't replenish ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to just take in and savor the incredible richness of life. We don't allow ourselves to rest. We don't allow ourselves to just appreciate, to just give thanks. So as you breathe in, focus on replenishing. Replenish from your heart. And your heart is a miracle. Your heart is self-replenishing because your heart is connected to and contains all that there is, all of existence, all the energy, all the love. That is you on a fundamental level. You are all. We get trapped into the thinking that our small self, our limited self, the self that we're mostly familiar with, that that self needs to run the show, needs to be in charge, needs to make all the decisions and make sure everything's okay. And of course, this is impossible. And so we get exhausted. We get tired on a mental level, on an emotional level. And then it's time to just breathe in and replenish. Now, we don't want to neglect the exhalation, right? The exhalation is very, very important. As I say, this represents what we are projecting into the world, what we are radiating into the world, what we are giving. Now, we're focusing more of our attention on this replenishing inhalation. But if we do not exhale, then we cannot inhale. So try to really empty your lungs as you breathe out. Try to breathe out all of that air, all of that breath. Breathe it all the way out. And then allow that revitalization and that replenishment to happen as you breathe in to your belly and then all the way up into your chest to complete the breath. Life is expansion and contraction, so there are times where we need to contract. We need to secure ourselves. We need to think about what we've experienced. We need to assimilate, to digest that experience, to make it part of ourselves. There are times in every person's life where less happens externally, and it's more about the inward journey. And this is good. This is to be expected. Maybe that occurs at a time where it seems like it shouldn't, it seems like, oh, it's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be the holidays or it's supposed to be whatever, right? It doesn't fit with our society's constructs. And that can cause a certain amount of difficulty, a certain amount of conflict, right? So, but perhaps by really balancing your breath, by going deeply within yourself and your heart, then you can appreciate that moment. If you happen to be in a contraction, I feel that is the case for me at the moment. I'm in a real contraction, and you might be thinking there's value in this. There's even beauty in this. If I could just see it, if I could just appreciate it. Maybe I can't, and so I just go on faith that all of life's experiences have value. Even the ones that we resist, even the ones that we consider to be so difficult, so challenging, so painful, it all has value. Perhaps it doesn't become clear until later. Go deep into the breath and connect and replenish. Feel your connection to all beings and all things, to that endless presence, that endless spirit that is within all things, within all beings. And when you're ready, then you can end your meditation and move your body and open your eyes. I have this cup of tea, but it's in this glass thing. It looks like a beer, doesn't it? Or something like a,
It does.
yeah.
That's so unprofessional of you. Be drinking a beer during
I mean,
live stream.
history of drunken masters. So but this is actually, so, just looks those.
You're celebrating early, everyone. I didn't realize I had muted myself. I forgot that I had muted myself. That was beautiful, Asatar. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to
Mm.
sit with you all and feel that feel that vibe. I feel a little bit more replenished. I don't know about anybody else, but
Mm.
one person
Yeah,
here.
two people. Um,
That's a bonus.
yeah, but it's so true. A lot of times the outer effort doesn't match like what we need to be getting back or what we are hoping to get back.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable what the inner effort can really do, and how much that can change everything. It doesn't mean that the outer effort isn't important, but the inner effort is almost like that surrender to the one life and saying, like, there are energies that are bigger than me. And if I can attune to them, then I can feel more like this kind of boat that I'm on through this current. It's like almost like it's like I'm on a boat that's on a current or something like this,
Mm,
and it's not so much like, oh, if I just keep rowing, you know, it's like that like the meditation is almost like the surrender to the fact that we are being carried in many
yeah,
ways.
that's a nice metaphor. I mean, yeah, like life gives us these currents sometimes, and
Mhm.
we could fight against it, right? We,
It's futile.
um, it's gonna exhaust us,
Mhm.
if we do that. And I think we all go through a learning around that, because I mean, maybe it's just me, but I've been very resistant to these moments where I'm in, contracting. My energy is contracting, and I often experience that as like very frustrating, very difficult, and we don't have much appreciation for that, and if we did, I don't know, maybe it'd be easier.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, we're about out of time, and I want to thank everyone for coming and joining with us this evening and meditating with us. If you'd like to support the show, there's a link to the Patreon in the description. If you're in Tucson, as I will be next week, You have to take a yoga class with Leah. Uh,
Yes.
so you're going to see us side by side in real life next week. So that'll be exciting.
Yes, you're in for a treat. It's gonna be mega energy. Yeah, coming from Tucson,
Maybe
Arizona.
normal. I don't know. We'll see.
It's gonna be fun, everyone. All right. Well, happy meditating until then.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.